And then, with all these things, I believe it boils down to the government reaching agreement with these countries. For example, we've been doing business with the Europeans for over 400 years. Why is it that for the past 400 years, okay, let's say 50 or 60 years of governance, pure governance, independence, why don't we have standards where the youth can produce their things? Most of the products that come from China are owned by the youth. They're not owned by old people or big industries. They're owned by young people that own shops and everything. So why are we still struggling with basic things? Even when you travel with those things with SOL, they go hold you for airports. So that's just the problem.
But I think many people are not aware because SOL has been in existence. If you certify your product to SOL, if your product has NIS is for use in Nigeria. The SOL is establishing a desk because customs and many people have called on some because they keep asking why are they rejecting Nigerian products. So the federal government has identified a need for some to be certifying export. So we now have a new desk called Sun Excam that will certify your product for export.
Here in Nigeria?
Yes, here in Nigeria.
But when you land?
No, if Sun Excam certifies your product in Nigeria, your product is going to comply with the requirements of that country, so it will not fail. So Sun was not involved in export of food products. That is why it's only NAFDAC that was there. So I think whether it's from last year or 2 years ago, Nigerians now start calling that Sun needs to certify. So we are working on it.
But you know these products find their way into this country one way or the other. Whether with the certification of some boys.
But the one that is looking for their currency now, so you meet their own. It's not left for our government to block those substandard. You see,
doing it because there must be
NEPC provides the right guidance for you to because it's NEPC. So NEPC gives him grants for him to export shea butter. Yes, Nigeria Export Promotion Council, I know they provide the right guidance. But for food products, the main issue has been with non-compliance of standards. And when it comes to food, let's be sincere, NAFDAC overshadows. So not everybody knows NAFDAC. People don't come to SON. Meanwhile, it's SON that has the standard. And NAFDAC is part of every technical committee in establishing those standards. So it's not SON, in short, let me not say it's SON that has the standard. It's the people that have the standard. SON will help to guide you when you're establishing the standard. Do you understand? So it's possible that Sun was not well known in the food sector, but Nigerians are beginning to know Sun, and that is why Nigerians are calling for Sun to be on the export supervision scheme. And currently the work is ongoing. Just know that the first step is have your product met Nigerian industrial standard. Just start from there. If your product can comply to Nigerian industrial standard, we know that you are beginning to be standards conscious. Then we will now talk about the standard of the importing country. And if you comply with their standard, they will not reject your product. And if they reject your product, you can take the case to WTO. Even in SN, we have a WTO desk. There's a WTO desk in NAFDAC. There's a WTO desk in Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. Then they will now argue the standard says this. Why did you reject this from Nigeria? So as a first basis, try to comply with the Nigerian industrial standard first. Then you keep going up from there.
And you know, with this soil health card, if you have less nitrogen, that machine will measure and tell you what nitrogen to add to get, yes, ahead. Then there is for rice farmers. Very soon you'll hear about one improved rice seeds that some people went to train in India. They just returned. You just throw 2 or 3 seeds. Before you know it, this whole room, rice is springing up. So what you will do is farmer groups. You know you can't do it alone. Farmer groups. I am sure at the moment they are trying to get a list of farmers in states. But as you've said, some people are not honest. Some of you don't even know these things are happening. They have written names of what they want and who they want, and they are submitting. So please, list of farmer, if you have farmer groups, if you have farms, but all these things, you have your groups, this is what I farm, you could send it to me. I am close to the director that is registering those farmer, yes. So I'll do this for free so that government supports you. And if you open the group, so that we'll put, if I get government information, I'll put for you. I will be part of the group, I'll meet, but if there is any information whatsoever from the ministry, inshallah, I promise to drop it there. So if it is rice farmers, we'll get to you. And if you are a rice farmer, please, one of you, get a paper, get me a list. You are a rice farmer, where location, if you have a farm name or something, so 3 columns, your name, your phone number, your location, and give it to me. This side farming,
Yes.
yeah, people are on the field now.
Making money.
They are now in Southwest, they've gone to North Central, Southeast, they are now in Southwest, so they are coming to Northwest, or maybe Northeast, they will finish in Northwest. So all these things, some policies, some government policies, they are not sold. They don't know how to make noise on them. But sincerely speaking, I'm not a politician, but this government is trying its best in agriculture. But they have a lot of programs they are doing, and they intend to help the real farmers. The real farmers, please, in your states where you are, make sure you go and register with the ADP. Don't say they are not good.
From my experience, we farmers sometimes we are not being sincere to ourselves.
Get the knowledge first.
Give information, even if it is not my department, being at the headquarters of the ministry, find out where you go, what you should do to be able to key into those.
Yes.
I was speaking earlier with someone. I said I was at a school one time during their career fair, and I was asking in a room of 300 students who wanted to be a lawyer, and half of the room did raise up their hand that they wanted to be a lawyer. The other half wanted to be a doctor, and before you know, there was no one left. When I asked who wanted to be a farmer, everybody was like, not me, But by the time we began to discuss the Internet of Things, the agribusiness side of agriculture, there was a mind shift. There was a change in perspective. So today, I was joining a group of other key stakeholders in the agri sector to talk about empowering farmers with science, bridging the knowledge gap in rural communities. And to proceed with the discussion, I'll be calling on the panelists to join me on stage. And in no particular order, I'll be calling on Precious Zebediah, who introduced himself as he comes on stage. Thank you, Mr. Precious. I also have Ms. Gladys Exema Igomo. She will introduce herself more. I also have Seviolua Alabi as well. Please join us on the stage. Please give them a round of applause to join us. Thank you so much, great panelists, and welcome on stage. We all know that 70 to 80% of food production in Africa is actually produced by farmers, right? But the truth about it is that farmers go through a lot of struggles in trying to even feed themselves or even get access to the relevant resources that they need to be able to expand their businesses. And sometimes there's nothing left for the farmer after everything. So we'll be delving into a lot of discussion and insight into how we can make science work for the farmer. We'll be talking about how science can help them improve efficiency and more. But because we have the experts in the house, I would like them to introduce themselves. Let's start with Mr. Temi. Thank you. Have a speaker. Please introduce yourself, Mr. Temi, with what you do and where you came from, and then tell us one fun fact about you.
Okay, hi everyone. Good afternoon. My name is David Yolua. I'm from the southwestern part of this country. Can you hear me very well? You can't hear me? Okay, my name is David. For sure. I'm from the southwestern part of this country, the side. I head communication for Trial and Greek. We are supporting smaller farmers with everything we need to be able to farm across Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, and Ghana. Right. One fun thing about me, right? Well, I think it's fun that I play table tennis a lot and that I like to write. I write in my book.
Thank you so much, Mr. Temi, for that wonderful introduction. And then to the lady of the moment, Gladys, please introduce yourself in the same manner. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gladys Etema. I'm the founder of Etema Farms, and I'm a consultancy limited. We grow vegetables, we do capacity buildings, we get invited to conferences or other places to talk to people about farming. We're into greenhouse farming, hydroponics, food as well. One fun fact about me. So I like to watch astronauts fly to space a lot. I really enjoy watching it, I don't know why, and I hope that one day I'll be able to go to space as well. Thank you.
Wow, we look forward to joining you in that journey. But then let's see the farming problems in Nigeria first. Thank you. Okay, so Mr. Zagaya, thank you.
Alright, so my name is Precious Abdul. I'm the founder of Jamka Legacy subsidiary in farming, spices production, and agro consultation. So one fun fact about me is I love to talk about and I love to make people laugh. Okay, so
thank you so much, Zagaya, and all the panelists for this wonderful introduction. Now we all agree that when there is no farmer, there is no food, and definitely there is no future. One house, please. Thank you. So bearing in mind that there's no farmer, there is no food, and there is no future. In order to help farmers thrive, we must identify key issues that face farmers' sustainability in the things they do. So I'll be asking some questions to the panelists, and then we'll develop and continue the discussion afterwards. So I'll start with Mr. Temi from my far left. So please, what are the most significant knowledge gaps you've identified among farmers in rural communities? Like you mentioned that Tribe Agri works in rural communities in Nigeria, Kenya, and other countries. So what are the key knowledge gaps you've identified, and how can science-based solutions address these gaps?
Okay, smaller farmers, like you said in your introduction, they contribute over 80% to the food consumed across Nigeria and across the continent actually. And some of the knowledge gaps, right, is also gaps generally, gaps generally, right?
Knowledge gaps.
It's quite interesting that those that contribute quite 80% to food that we consume in Nigeria and in Africa, they don't have as much information about the soil that they farm on, right? The kind of so for instance, if a farmer does not know that there can be a variety of seed that when you plant in a certain kind of soil, there can be a different yield, there's a problem. Alright? Climate change is everywhere. Alright? And then if a farmer does not know that there can be seeds that are drought resistant, that can be planted in certain locations conditions in certain times, then there will be problem. You will just need so much effort. So, like you said, I think someone said, as I heard, as I entered, we don't need more farmers. We need farmers that farm better, right? Having the understanding of climate smart farming, climate resilient farming, as well as understanding of soil, right? The soil composition, understanding of the kind of chemicals we even use, right? So, for instance, at Fiverr, right? Currently, we have supported over 1 million farmers across the continent, right? Specifically, over 800,000 farmers in Nigeria alone, right? We have right, that we give farmers based on our research so far, and we've worked with them over 7 years now. So we know how it is that there are certain kinds of soil, right, that can help them have certain kind of yield, right? So our solution is tailored towards their needs. So you will not just onboard you to come farm without actually even knowing where you are farming. So before we even do that, we try to do some geo mapping. All right, we have an end-to-end process that is monitored on our technology, the agricultural operating system, right, where we get to onboard them first, and then we actually map out their fields. When we are mapping out their fields, we're actually trying to understand their soil texture, right, the composition of their soil, and then we're also trying to help them understand that there are different kinds of seed, right, that they can use. So all of these gaps around climate smart understanding, to build their resilience, to build their adaptability. You know, some time ago I was in a conference, and then there was something called, of course you must know it, it's called half moon, right? Half moon that can be used for irrigation, all of those climate smart, and then some people don't even know what it means, right? So the kind of knowledge that they need to be able to be climate resilient, right? To understand the kind of soil, where to plant, how to even plant, right? Some of those gaps, and then pest management kind of understanding. How do they even manage their crops when they planted, right? How do they apply fertilizers? How do they some of these things? Those are some of the gaps that we need to be able to fill, and we can't just fill them by creating something out of the blues. We need to know them, right? We need to go there and experience them.
Interesting. Thank you so much for that insight. The takeaway from that discussion is that gone are the days where every farm needs NPK 10-10-10 or 15-15. You need to carry out the soil test to know the kind of fertilizer or inputs to put on the farm. Thank you so much for that insightful feedback. The next question goes to Gladys. African farmers, especially women, face time poverty. They run double work day. They engage manually, maybe going to the stream to fetch water, and then during the daytime they go to the farm. For the men, they most likely spend so much hours in the farm tilling the ground and trying to produce, and sometimes the output does not compensate the effort put into the farm. So critically, the question to you now is, what technologies or innovations can be introduced to reduce drudgery and improve the working conditions of farmers, particularly women and youth in rural Nigeria?
Thank you so much. This is the reason why most people don't go into farming. You know, we have, like you mentioned earlier, we also do training for children, secondary school children in school. We are trying to catch them young. We are trying to catch them young, and when they come to the farm, we tell them, how many of you want to be farmers? Everybody like, no, I don't want to be a farmer, I don't want to be a farmer. Why don't you want to be a farmer? They'll be like, because farmers overwork themselves, they are dirty, they go to work in the morning, they are working under the sun, that they don't want to live that kind of life. They better be engineers or doctors or bankers, people that are sitting down in convenient places, you know, enjoying AC and all that, because they saw their grandparents and the people in the rural area farm that way. But now, to reduce drudgery, there are so many innovations now that can be introduced to farmers. Mechanized farming, for example, like the use of tractor.
in the olden days, or even currently now in rural areas, if people want to farm, they either join cooperative society where all the men that have power will come out and go to one farm, and then all of them will concentrate there. To finish a hectare, it might take them like 3-4 days, depending on the numbers of people. After they finish that, they will now start seeding, and then after that, they will start another weeding and all that. So it actually makes them very tired and look older than themselves, and they don't even have time to take good care of themselves. So with mechanized farming, a tractor can finish how many hectares of land in just few hours. And then there are also planters that help you, or seeders that help you to just plant the seed, or is it maize seed, is it rice seed, whatever you want to. There are planters that do that, and when it's time to harvest, there are harvesters. If you want to weed, you use herbicide. So the introduction of mechanized farming, seeders, harvesters, and all these other innovative technologies help the work to be faster. So if you have used a tractor to cover about 3 or 4 hectares of land in one day, you have the time to go and do other things, to attend community things that are happening around, to go to the Owambes for the women, and the youth are also more encouraged, because now as you are putting in less time, you have time to do other things, and then because of this mechanization, you are able to do more, and then you're able to have more money. So people begin to envy farmers. With these new innovations and mechanization, people are envying farmers. Everybody wants to now become farmers. And also for the youth, things like the greenhouses, like the hydroponics, they are now being introduced to rural areas as well, especially peri-urban areas. Those are the areas close to the urban areas. They have greenhouses because of the proximity to town. When they produce like tomatoes, seedless cucumbers, they have places that they can sell it. So all this can help to develop the rural sector. Thank you.
At this point in time, you won't be surprised that tomorrow I'll open a farm and start producing this. So I'm sure we have experts in the house who can help me set up a farm by tomorrow. Thank you so much for that useful insight. The new technology around farming, talking about hydroponics and also the vertical farming, is a welcome idea. So Mr. Precious, do you mind adding more insight into what Gladys has mentioned? So what technologies or innovation can be introduced to reduce drudgery and improve working conditions of farmers?
Okay, thank you. So, okay, I think it's good now. Okay, so before, when we have to process spices, right, we use mortar, right? They pound the spices, and you don't get that fine powder that you need. But now, with the introduction of processing machines, right, that load is taken off women, because most of the people that do those poundings are usually women. So the introduction of processing machines have helped to reduce that workload on the women. Secondly, there is motorized sprayers, right? So I remember there's a farm project that I'm currently on with someone, a 13-hectare maize farming. So when we wanted to get sprayers, the consultant on the farm was insisting that we should get the manual sprayer because it was affordable. But the time you use to spray 13 hectares with a manual sprayer cannot be compared with the time you use to spray with a motorized sprayer. In fact, I remember when we were spraying the 13 hectares, we started using the manual on 1 hectare, and almost 1 hour we were not done. But with the motorized, we're going into 3 hectares within 1 hour. So, and then another technology you can also introduce is, just as she said, tractors, right? In fact, there are planters. There are both manual planters, the one you push, and there are also the ones that walk with, it is motorized too. You just do it. So women and youth can actually employ some of these technologies to be able to reduce the workload on themselves.
Thank you so much. That's the potential. Farmers have potential of living the soft life, just pressing remotes and everything works for them. This is a great insight. Thank you so much, Precious, for that question, for that feedback. I'll also address the next question to you. African farmers are time poor, they are information poor, and they lack access to the credits that they need. So the question to you is, how can we ensure that science-based solutions are inclusive and accessible to smallholder farmers, women, and other vulnerable groups in rural communities?
All right, thank you so much. One way that we can ensure that farm solutions are available to women and vulnerable groups is number one, by organizing capacity programs that empower them. Understand? Everything rises and falls on the strength of knowledge, right? So, the women should be trained. They should be empowered with knowledge. I think that's one of the ways we can do that. Then, secondly, the youths, right? They should create hubs for youths, such that these youths will be empowered with tech-related solutions. Because I believe youths too are also vulnerable. It's not just women. You will see youth 16, 17, they are on the farms, right? So these youths and teenagers are also vulnerable. So there should be a hub created for them to be able to learn some of these tech-related solutions. Example, how to test soil, just like what Tribe Agric said, right? I remember when we wanted to, the farm project we are currently on now, we wanted to do irrigation farming last year. So we brought experts to come and test the soil to see if the soil can retain water. They came and they said, yeah, this soil can retain water. So we used that knowledge to go into the farming. But in the process, we realized that number one, there was no water available under the ground. So there are rocks. So even if you dig borehole, the borehole will sometimes collide with the rock, and by the time it forms little amount of water, that's all, right? So in fact, some of the crops, we lost 5 hectares of crops that we planted. We had to go to APU Zaria to look for a consultant to come and test the soil, and also we realized that no, this soil will not be good for planting, right? So youths like this, there should be a hub created to bring youths together, women together. These are things that women can do. Take your device, check, what is the quality of this soil, right? Then also, beyond soil, you can also test to see how good are the seeds, right? Just like the doctor was saying that he went to a farm to snap a crop, right? So that his phone will tell him how good, the percentage of insect infestation on those crops, right? So these are things that these hubs will be able, where these hubs are created, women and the vulnerable groups like teenagers, they'll be equipped with such knowledge to be able to learn these solutions and then to be able to implement these solutions.
Thank you so much for that useful feedback. Smart farming is the way forward. Farmers must, first of all, improve work around getting information, and then creating hubs will help improve that, So that's a very useful one. I'll be directing the same question to the man from Tribe. How can we ensure that science-based solutions are inclusive and accessible to smallholder farmers? Thank you.
Pascal financing, right? Pascal financing, right?
Yes, please.
So it's an irony that we need to finance smallholder farmers. Already they are underserved. Now the question is, how do you get to finance them? Now, there has been the polemics all around banking institutions, partner organizations, even dev orgs, right? Not trusting the farmers enough to be able to bank them, and it's not their fault, right? A farmer that does not have a bank account right? If farmer does not even have a banking identity, let alone a bank account. Right? So we must be able to understand that the first point of call is to first give them access to what they do not have. If a farmer does not have bank, even a credit score record, you won't be able to finance, because again there's no transparency in even how financing is disbursed, either in kind or in cash. All right, so we must be in 2022 at Thrive Agric, we began a project to bank smallholder farmers, and we started with 125,000 smallholder farmers. Right now we have over 129,000 smallholder farmers that have banking identities. Right, I don't know that lots of these smallholder farmers do not have fingerprints. They don't have fingerprints. They farm to the point that their fingerprints are no longer there. In fact, some of us even in our centers don't have fingerprints, if you check. Right? But that's not the issue here. So we must be able to grant them banking identities with the official recognition. Right? Let's bank them. So about 129,000 farmers have bank accounts. They have cards, credit cards, such that there's a transparency from the funder through the platform that is being created up onto the farmer. So we have several platforms right now. So, and it's not just about collecting money and we will give the farmers. We have had several initiatives in Nigeria targeted at financing farmers, but we know how it, right? How can we even track the fund? How can we track the empowerment? If we have a transparent system, right? Tech-based, we are experiencing, right? Based platforms actually for them that transparency, right? The funders can see on their end, this person's strategy. This person has found 10 hectares with total amount. These are the results, right? That, all right? And there has to be, you see, the idea of transparency is very important. Transparency for credibility, right? How can we do that? So, I mean, again, because we are very big on tech, we created, like I said earlier, the agricultural operating system with which we actually connect these farmers to financiers. So you can have access to our database and just see the history of the farmers and who know who they are financing, know their credit scoring, know how much they've done. Right. Without that transparent system, you actually say we are financing farmers. Where is it going to? What is the result? We must ensure that the farmers have the solution. So that's why we began that journey. I went myself. Right. And again, I said that it's not just about staying in Abuja. You want AC powered. We are empowering farmers. We should be able to go there, all right, understand them, and actually see what the impact is turning out to be. So let's ensure that we actually bank them, create that scoring for them, right, and actually also create platforms that allow for free flow of financing systems, transparency, credibility, and then we'll actually see a change. We have seen that change. We've seen that change and we know that it's working. So, and we can't do it alone. That's why we have the effects of this world. We have the pressures also of this world, right? To be able to let's collaborate together. Let's synergize on these platforms, on these science-based solutions to be able to make it all inclusive for these smallholder farmers, and there'll be results. That's it.
Yeah, thank you so much for speaking to traceability and also to speaking to providing alternative access to creating credit score, because normally the banks of today will tell you that the farmer has no collateral, the farmer has no credit history. So the role of technology is that it helps to create a track record, especially for the farmers who have been mapped on our platforms. You'll be able to see that yes, this farmer produces this volume of output, has been able to show that he or she is credit worthy. You'll be able to also show traceability. Where does this crop come from? You know, who should get the glory? And I think there are initiatives that kind of reward farmers that actually produce organic products in a way through the traceability processes. And alternatively, to providing access to finance, there's a new concept around warehouse receipt where you can use the inventory in your warehouse, maybe like Tribe warehouse or an Apex warehouse, as a collateral for financing. And that's a smart way for the future. And that's basically that kind of infrastructure will leverage on technology, basically. So while looking at the science side of it, technology is the future. So we all have to embrace it, especially if you're a farmer or you're someone who is into agribusiness and all. Thank you so much for that useful feedback. And the next question will go to Gladys. How can digital technologies such as mobile apps and precision agriculture be leveraged to enhance farmers' access to science-based knowledge and improve their productivity?
Thank you so much. So there's a lot now that is also in the farming industry regarding precision farming and precision agriculture. So like someone earlier about soil testing. You know, first of all, you need to test the soil so you know what the soil is lacking or what's already in the soil. So that if it's, for example, if you need more nitrogen in the soil, you now know the exact quantity, you know, to put in there to make sure that your plant works well. Too much nitrogen is going to be a problem. Too little of phosphorus or potassium will be a problem. So precision agriculture helps you to know exactly what to put, the right quantity. The right quantity, you know, if it's water, what's the right quantity to give? Every crop requires water to grow, but too much water is a problem. It kills the crop. Too little water kills the crop. Or if you want to control the environment with temperature and all that, you also have to know the optimal temperature. There's a particular temperature that when you heat for tomatoes, they begin to ripen. There are some temperatures that if it doesn't reach, the ripening is reduced. Same thing with humidity. When your humidity is too high, you start having fungi diseases, especially in greenhouses, even in the open field. So with precision agriculture, you are able to know the exact quantity of which parameter to increase or to reduce, or what quantity to give to a particular crop. So it's going to help the local farmer. It's something that they may be like, how do I even know? How do we even practice this? But thank God for like phones and then digital hubs around the communities. So it's also very important that every community, so let's say if I'm coming from Gwagwalada, like our farm is located in Gwagwalada, and we have like a farm clinic there where the farmers are now come and say, okay, this is the problem I'm having, or I don't know why my crop is behaving like this, I don't know why it's like this, or what quantity of fertilizer should we give to this particular crop. When you come to the hub, we are able to either go back with them and check and then tell them, okay, this is the quantity you should give, or you should reduce this thing is too much, you know. So of hubs should be made available to communities, rural areas, so that people that are not able to access this by themselves are able to come to such hubs and lay their complaints. And then from time to time, even individual farmers can do it. If you are a farmer and you have a land close by, you can just organize something like that, like you are, I'm sure you are doing something like that, because we are waiting for the government or for big companies to come and do it, it will not happen, you know. So when those kind of things are available, or you're already having a farm, or you have a structure already on ground for agri, you can include something like that in your own area, maybe like a farm clinic where farmers come and then they find the solution. So yes, precision agriculture is really helping. There are apps now that if you just snap your plant, it will be able to identify the kind of insect or the larva that is on that plant, and then it tells you, okay, this is the larva, and from there at least you know what you are dealing with. If it's strips you are dealing with, you know you have to get the chemical to use and all that. So yeah, precision agriculture is very, very helpful, and it's important that everybody everybody in the agro value chain, especially farmers and people that have hubs or any facility close to them, it's good for them to also add that, even as we call on government and other individuals to come and partner to make the hubs available for everyone.
Wow. Precision farming to me looks like smart farming. You don't overfeed the plants, you don't underfeed it. I think that is the future to help improve efficiency and increase yield in the farm. Thank you so much. So we'll take a few questions from the audience. If we could take 1 or 2 questions, and then we get the final ones from the panelists. Any questions from the audience, please? Okay, we have a question back down there. Just 2 questions, and then we'll...
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Special thanks to the organizers and partners. My name is Ehiroko. I am the manager at the Townhall Farms and Agro Consults. I have just one question. It goes like this. I want the panelists to give us practical solutions to mitigating risks in farming. Because if you look at being a Nigerian farmer, we are exposed to a lot of finance risks, production risks, marketing risks, logistics risks daily. So how can we be able to conquer and mitigate these risks? Is it there need for all of us? Thank you.
Second question. One more question.
Thank you so much for that wonderful question on how do we manage risk in farming, how do we manage marketing risk and price risk. Is any of you willing to delve in? Okay, thank you.
So, managing risk, right? It's dicey, but it has to be done. It's dicey, but it has to be done. Now, first thing I'm going to say is that we would move further in Nigeria, in agriculture, in Africa, when we take agriculture more as a business. Do you see? This man is not listening. If we take agriculture more as a business, that's why I like the fact that these days the government and the government funders are actually partnering with actual platforms to be able to reach these farmers. So if we go the business route, risk is a part of business. However, managing risk, the first questions to ask ourselves is, what are the things that I'm even doing before I get into it? See, there are lots of folks who claim to be farming, but they're actually not farming. Right? Do you even have the operational presence? For one, I don't believe that you are a farmer when you don't even know what the size of an hectare of a farm looks like. Alright? Even if you are a tech guy, you are developing tech solutions for the farmer, right? So how much of that, the director was asking something the other time at the exhibition booth, and he was saying that your platform, you say you have tech. I hope that the information that your tech is giving us is not AI. Beautiful question. Because if you are feeding us with AI, then all of us can just boycott the tech and go to AI and not get it. But it should be that we are actually feeding our platforms or our applications with the real issues of the farmers. Having said that, when we know that we need to take proactive steps, how are we getting into farming? What seeds are we using? If you don't use the right seeds, right? If you don't have the right pest management knowledge, you are setting yourself more at risk. So first thing is build the knowledge base. Have the knowledge, right? Lots of other platforms are failing. Of course, lots are also succeeding, right? But I can tell you for free that if you don't have the operational presence, you are just going to gamble. But farming is not gambling, right? Farming is not gambling. So what are the things that you are even doing? In terms of planting, are you using the right things? Are you seeking the right advice? All right, and also there's also definitely insurance. All right, if you don't know that you can insure something, then you would you just live in the dark, right? There are insurance companies that can also help you to take care of a certain level of risk. Okay, how are you managing your exposure? All right. Also, one of the biggest risks right now in our day and time is climate change. It's actually climate change. Now, at Private Grade, one of the things that we're doing, sorry to take your time, is actually that we're encouraging the farmers to plant trees. Okay? And we started a project recently to actually plant over about 30,000 trees. Right? Now, the farmer is getting money in two ways. He's planting fruity trees on his farmland, right? In season, he's getting yield and money from the maize, from the whatever. Out of season, he's getting money from the mango that is selling. Do you understand? And also with that, right? Again, tree planting also helps with carbon sequestration, right? There are companies right now that are ready to partner with Nigerians to actually give carbon credits to smallholder farmers. How are we giving the farmers that knowledge of carbon sequestration? Plant trees, not just to do this, plant trees, and then you get carbon credits. It's soft, man. Just that kind of stuff. So we must actually have the right knowledge of the industry, the right operational presence, use the right techniques, have the right information. In fact, last 2 weeks we went to actually put some of the trees into the ground. I was there somewhere in Niger State, Popo. I don't know if you. It's in Mokwako, right? Somewhere around, it's also not Mokwako or something, one village, right? We planted trees. In coming months and years, now they begin to harvest. They can eat the fruits, they can sell the fruits, they can also even trade their carbon for money. Do you understand? So those are the ways we can manage risk. But understand that we must make sure that agriculture is business in Nigeria. And we must understand that there is risk involved in it.
So another way that you can manage risks is to join cooperative societies, right? We tend to look down on cooperative societies, right? There is a problem you are facing in your farm that somebody else has faced that problem and has succeeded. But if you are trying to run your farm as a one man, you will suffer, right? And that means we must learn to ask questions, right? Don't die in silence. Most Nigerian farmers are dying in silence, right? If there's an issue with your farm, there's a risk in your farm that you're not able to manage well, open up, speak up. Like last year, when we started Agri-Edge Solutions, that's my consultation firm, right? One thing I did was I joined over 50 groups on Facebook that have to do with farming, livestock farming, and crop farming. So when people ask questions, I go to the comment section and I begin to read what are the solutions other farmers are suggesting. If I have the same problem, I go and then I read. I can tell you for sure, most of the comment sections that I've gone to look at, I found a solution to that problem I'm passing through on my farm. And you are doing livestock fish farming. It's one of the most complicated farming that you can do. Because you can just wake up and all your stomach are full. And then you put salt, there's no solution. So what else? Right? So you have to join cooperative societies. Don't be a one-man standing. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that useful feedback. I would like to address the last point, which is market access. If you're going into business, especially for agriculture, you need to also do some level of feasibility studies. Who is my ultimate buyer? Because most people in agriculture go into business, the first thing is, I just want to farm, I have a piece of land. Then by the time output is out, there is no buyer. You now have to start seeking people to buy, and then you're forced to sell at a price that you are not able to. So be proactive enough and do your market research. Get a buyer ahead of time. It helps improve your bargaining power. And also get access to technologies. Like in Apex, we have a trading platform where you can actually trade. It helps you with price discovery and it helps you limit your losses because you don't have to take your commodity physically to the market, incur logistics, reverse logistics, and then maybe forced to sell. So you have to be proactive, leverage technology where possible. At this point, I would like you to please give our panelists a round of applause, please. They've done so well. So let's get over 150 minutes. million Nigerians out of hunger by ensuring that we leverage on science and technology, and definitely the future will be a better place for all farmers. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much. Please, group picture quickly with the ED. Please, quickly. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Thank you once again to our phenomenal panelists for that deep and timely conversation. We've unpacked powerful things today. To sincerely acknowledge and appreciate our special guests, all of them. Your presence and engagement today have added depth and direction to this summit, and some of them have been here till the end. Also, to the ministries and government representatives who have stayed with us till the end, we thank you all for showing up and standing with us. To our partners, our participants, our stakeholders, the real heroes of our food systems, we honor your resilience and your role at the center of this transformation. And of course, to the incredible GSAI team, Growth for Sustainable Agricultural Development, thank you for pulling this together with excellence, passion, and purpose. Your work is building bridges between knowledge and action. Ladies and gentlemen, as we prepare to draw the curtains, the final curtains on today's engagement, it's only fitting that we end on a very high note. A parting charge from someone who represents the heartbeat of the next generation of agripreneurs. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as I make welcome to the stage for the parting shots and who goes to the final curtain to today's engagement. No other person but the hub manager of Youth in Agri-Biz, a voice of energy, vision, and determination as they deliver the final words to launch us from dialogue into direction and from inspiration into full action. Ladies and gentlemen, please make us welcome Mr. Olaide Olawale, hub manager, Youth in Agribusiness of IITA Ibadan. Thank you so much, sir, for being here with us and giving us the final shot.
Thank you very much. I am Adebayo Awetodunbo, the program coordinator, Youth in Agribusiness. But no worry, we are working together. It's also here.
This is the project coordinator. Please, please clap for him, clap for him, clap for him, please.
Thank you very much. First, let me thank the organizers, the GSAI, for this kind of summit. And as I was coming, I saw this tag as a participant also. So I said, no, I should be giving this special guest. But to me, at the end of this summit, I am privileged to tell you that the people that are special guests are here. The farmers, young farmers. Can you please put that together for a second? You are the heroes, you are our special guests. In fact, you are partners in development. So much has been said about obtaining resilient agricultural system in not only in Nigeria but also in Africa. And also we know what the problems are and what we wanted to do. But one thing I also discovered is that we have everything that we need to get that resilient agricultural system to be able to promote our smallholder farmers to commercial agri-producers. IT has science, research, results. You know, thank God that Mr. Black said so. We have varieties of seeds that we want to have, not only in Nigeria, but also in Africa. So, and we have farmers. You know, though the whole Already farmers are going, we have some sections. We have the youth that are taking up agribusiness. So, it's not like in the olden days when people think agri is for the whole and then people. They have different perceptions. And also we have stakeholders, the NGOs that are here, and people from the government, the policymakers. I think the next line is that we should be working more synergetically because we have been working in silos, all the stakeholders, particularly the people in government, the policymakers. So, and as a way forward, Mr. Black, please, when you are drafting the communique to this summit, ensure that you actually identify roles and responsibility for each stakeholder, be specific, and also put a timeline, so that it will be easy for us to be able to track whether we are actually moving on. It will not become just another talk and no action. We have been able to discuss quite a lot of good things that promote farmers, and they promote safety food and promote sustainability in agriculture. But I think that is very important. On this note, I want to thank you. Though I didn't participate in the subsequent ones, but participating in interacting with people, I get to know the trust of the discussion. And I wish everybody a journey as we go back to the destination. And for the panelists, the young farmers have actually done very well. So, but I will not be adding anything because we have just justice to it. And for our DK, thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We have officially come to the end of the Town Hall Summit for Farmers. Brought to you by GSAI, ladies and gentlemen. And coming up stage quickly is the Executive Director, GSAI, Mr. Daniel Black.
At the forefront of this movement is the Good for Sustainable Agriculture Initiative, GSAI.
Okay, thank you so much. We are closing now. I want to especially thank you. Please, the rapporteurs for the different breakout sessions, can you kindly bring your resolutions down here? Please kindly submit them to me, the different rapporteurs, submit them to me. We will prepare the communique, and of course we will circulate it via emails to all the participants and partners. You will get the communique. One very last thing we wanted to do. So among the trainees in the 8 weeks virtual training, when we started this project, we thought we would be able to get funding to sponsor participants to come in from different parts of Nigeria. But when we found out that we couldn't, we also brought out a means. We told participants, if you have somebody that can sponsor you, tell us, we'll give you a letter and you give to. We sent out many letters. We only had one response, and we really want to appreciate that person. He sponsored a farmer all the way from Akwa Ibom State to attend this event, and we have an award plaque to specially appreciate him. He's actually the local government chairman of Mbo local government in Akwa Ibom State, and he paid the transport, paid accommodation, and paid expenses for his farmer to attend this training. Please, let's welcome Mr. John Vasi, the farmer from Akwa Ibom State, to receive this award. Please, Madam Emma, can you come present this award? We want to encourage more politicians that are developing farmers. It's not easy to send someone all the way from the south down to the north to attend this event. So please, ma'am. Thank you, Mr. John. Thank you. We wish you safe journeys on your way back, and please extend our very deep and sincere gratitude to Honorable Sunday Etum, the local government chairman of Mbo local government area. Thank you so much. Thank you, all our participants. Okay, Trip Market Bill has some gifts for you.
I work with ITA,
okay,
and I coordinate youth in agribusiness projects under the ITA.
Wonderful.
So I think it's a timely summit because it provides opportunity for stakeholders to reassess the resilience of the agri-food system in Nigeria and by extension in Africa, and also provide opportunity to look at how to make the food system to be safe in terms of nutrition, and also to assess how to to strengthen the partnership among the policymakers, the people in the government, the NGOs, so as to move not only agriculture, but also to empower also the agri-food system in terms of the participation of the youth and the smallholder farmers in Nigeria. When the team reached out to me, I was very excited because you see, most small-scale farmers, one of the major challenges they are having is knowledge gap, and majority of them don't really know how to maximize the science-based research that is coming up recently. So I believe that this summit is more like a platform for them to come and then be in touch with the current realities of farming, and then be able to upscale their farming practices, and also make much more better decisions. Thank you so much for bringing it together, right? Because the future of Nigeria is hinged on agriculture. Just like what the doctor said, he said that we don't need more farmers in Nigeria. What we need are better farmers. So thank you so much for bringing such a conference together to equip the youth. See, it's beyond money. When you give farmers money but they don't have knowledge, they will not go anywhere. But when you equip them with knowledge, then when finances come later, they'll be able to maximize the finances and then make the country a better place agriculture-wise.
The particular occasion is a commemoration of World Food Safety Day, and it is really important because food safety, it's about the health of the people, and now attention is being paid on the fact that safety starts from the farm. And we are really excited about the fact that because it's starting from the farm, as somebody in charge of policy in National Agricultural Extension System, I'm passionate about the fact that attention is being paid on us to be the ones that will ensure that we have standards in producing foods that will be healthy for the people. And that is why we're here. Particularly, we're excited that we have farmers that are youths, who are the first that have invaded the space, particularly in their use of digital devices. And it is important for us to know that we have seen that agricultural extension service is transiting away from just bringing information from traditional research institutes to the farmers, but facilitation of innovations. And the innovations are diverse, not only in agricultural practices, but in getting finance, in getting clustering together to be able to, and these are the part of the innovations, getting into public health issues, which has to do with safe foods. Even again, it has to do with our ability to produce food for exports. We know quite a number of businesses have not been able to take off in exports because the standards that are expected in other countries have not been met. But now that we have this kind of training, you understand trainings have been going on for over a week to empower the people that are producing to produce what will be acceptable in the standards, international standards. That's why I'm here. I'm passionate.
Thank you, sir.
I try to tell people that are mentees that there is nothing you do that doesn't have challenges. If you position yourself within any space, you can be able to make a breakthrough. So the youth have potentials to be able to make it if they know the fact that every beginning will have an historic end if you are persistent and you have hope and strength to go through. So I have no doubt that the youth have potential.
Thank you. Very impactful, knowledgeable. I'm very happy to be here. I connected with like minds, share ideas, and I'm ready to connect. Nigeria is going to be great. It's going to be more than we are in the next 10 years to come. I have that vision. By this, youth of my age are going to do more and more better.
I really learned a lot about the food safety and the agricultural processes involved to take up the production of agricultural produce to a greater scale. Food safety is everybody's business, from the farmers down to the government. Food sustainability in Nigeria, I think it has potentials of becoming, it has positive potentials to become one of the best sector in Africa and the world at large. In a few years to come from now, with the right policies the government are implementing, I believe agriculture in Nigeria will skyrocket to a better level. I study food science and technology.
For me, these are kind of something that Nigerian farmers need, especially young farmers who are just coming up. You know, we need to be food safety cautious. So I really enjoyed every bit of the summit, and I look forward to the upcoming ones in the coming years. I think if the right policies are put in place and right actions is taken, Nigeria will probably be one of the top 10 grain producing nation in the world. So we will actually achieve food sufficiency, and as I always said, Nigeria has what it takes to feed Africa. So it's doable. Yeah.
Youth turn out and potential youth that still believe in agriculture in this country. So I want to say thank you to the organizer, thank you to all our guest speakers. Thank you. Starting from me, I need to look for a way whereby I can produce better crops and also add better and value addition to those crops, and also make them available, because it says that that it was everyone it that we that to determine their lifespan, because even the doctor cannot determine what we have to do. So as for me, I know that as a farmer, and that cleanliness is what is there first for us to obtain this sustainability in our farm produce.
I'm a farmer and agricultural economics by profession, and I'm also a member of Nigeria Agribusiness Group. I really appreciate about the program, and it's a very exciting moment where I met a lot of personalities from different backgrounds in agricultural value chain, and I have learned so many things, and we share some opportunities that we may harness after the program, and we hope we will use it to improve agriculture, especially related to healthy agriculture. I'm already an agriculturist. I'm into farming. I farm rice, wheat, maize. So as far as we are gathering such events, we are learning, we are spreading it to our farmers. I believe we will boost agriculture in such a way that Nigeria will be among the top countries in Africa, not even Africa, but in the world.
All right, so yeah, my name is Daniel Black. I am privileged to be the Executive Director of Growth for Sustainable Agriculture Initiative, organizers of the Nigerian Farmers Townhall Summit. The Nigerian Farmers Townhall Summit is actually a platform we have developed to bring in dialogue, policy influence on different issues affecting farmers in Nigeria. And this year we threw light on world food safety, because we discovered that food safety is an issue that is not in the forefront of the main farmers. That's the people actually planting. You cannot randomly pick a Nigerian produce and export it, because the standards are not the same. And of course, we are consuming these things that outside cannot be consumed. So the question is, why are we consuming things that have been rejected internationally? Shouldn't it be the same? Are we not all human beings? So this year we decided to throw light on food safety and advocate, sensitize, educate, and strengthen the capacity of more farmers to be able to produce safe food for both local and both domestic and international consumption. There are standards that need to be met to produce food safe for human consumption, and these standards are not really met by Nigerian farmers. That is why when you go out to countries and places that are very, very strict and meticulous in their standard process, you find out that our produce cannot meet up the standard. So once Nigerian farmers begin to meet up the standards of food safety globally, of course, our food will be accepted anywhere we send them to. I'd want to encourage every person that food sufficiency by Nigeria for Africa is very, very real and very, very possible. All we need is all hands on deck. If everybody can come together and begin to contribute their own quota, those in the tech contribute tech knowledge, those in the finance contribute investment, those in the primary production contribute safe and quality standard production, and then across those in education contribute proper education and awareness, I believe we can actually achieve food sufficiency in Nigeria and even in Africa. Thank you so much.
All right, so my name is Victor Buba Ali. I'm the Programs Manager, Growth for Sustainable Agriculture Initiative. Thank you. If you look at the health issues we are finding ourselves presently in Nigeria, you know that most of it is coming from the food aspect. That is why most developed nations pay attention to what they eat. Yes, we are having a lot of debates on issues about GMOs and so on. You know, how we produce food from our farms. All of this, you know, post-harvest residues that we tend to see in farm outcomes. You know, farm harvest and so on. So of course that is why this initiative was birthed, you know, so that we want people to see the need that we don't just need, as much as we are clamoring for, you know, food safety, food security in Nigeria, we must ensure that food security should carry that idea of eating good, nutritious and healthy food. So that is why the entire farm food safety training just concluded with this summit here. And then, of course, the entire agricultural value chain was what the training was all about. And we ended it right here with this summit. What we've seen is some proactiveness by the government. As you can see, some of them came here. The partnership from both the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural, it's now Agriculture and Food Security, and of course from the Livestock also, Ministry of Livestock, they were here, and they have shown interest in partnering with us for future initiatives like this, you know, to ensure that farmers in the future, so of course, which means in the next 5 to 10 years, you definitely will see a positive outcome in the agricultural sector as with regards production of quality farm produce in our market for both local consumption and of course. Okay, so first of all, you need to see agriculture as a business. See agriculture as a business, and try every possible means, you know, to start. One of our mentors told us that guys, start. And that was what we did. We started, and when we noticed things were just falling into place. Trust me, there are a lot of people who are looking for places to even invest, you know, and the agriculture is a viable place for that. And you just need to start, put yourself out there, start, and trust me, start off with, you know, cooperative organizations, you know, your own personal farm, register it, and from there, it's all going to be an excellent story. Thank you very much. Cheers.